Colombia, as a country crowded with multicultural identities and regions with contrasting needs, is a society which hits different features such as context, history, needs, and wants in various of its communities. Because of these features, in 1994, Colombia's government declared itself as an intercultural and multicultural country in the General Law of Education, which sounds very inclusive. So, how did we come up with this whole idea of a country's struggle towards interculturality?
Well, we realized this when we saw it on paper. This policy is properly structured that it points out the different communities in Colombia and the problems that they have been facing in terms of education. But in reality, it is a policy that is still not consistent with an adequate attention of the diverse indigenous communities that inhabit the national territory. The problems converge on the government policy which does not hit the education those communities need and deserve, while going over their beliefs and wishes, driving some inadequate methodologies and approaches that schools tend to utilize.
Besides, by analyzing and comparing the results from Prueba Saber over the second period 2017, 2018 and 2019, we notice significant difference in the results between the national average and the average of a school located in Meta, Colombia. We would like to clarify that the areas we are going to focus on are English, Spanish, critical reading, and the weighted average national level.
To start, we can notice that this school has the lowest average in terms of grades, comparing it with the average of national level students between the second period from 2017 to 2019. By the year of 2017, the school had an average of 37.39 in the area of Spanish and 40.5 in English. We can see that these results are far lower than the national average, which is for English 51 and Spanish 54.29.
By 2018, we can notice that this issue did not change at all. As the chart shows us, the areas of English and Spanish were lower than the previous year. This means that the weighted average of the school was still lower compared to the weighted national average, which increased 1 point. By 2019, we could see that even the average of the school took a nosedive of 36 points in critical reading and 37 in English, while the national average of critical reading was 53, which was a decline of just 1 point. And in terms of English, the national average level had a reduction of 2 points, comparing it with the year before.
To sum up, the decline of the average of this school compared to the national average in recent years leads us to inquire about some of the causes of these results, which guide us to the methodologies, approaches, and materials that are being used to teach. However, these educational tools are established by the government, which are not adequate for the Sicuani community context and particular needs.
Furthermore, the methodologies, approaches, and materials which are being used for teaching indigenous communities were copied from other Anglo-speaking countries, such as Europe. These are standards which are based on neither their context nor their reality. However, these materials, methodologies, and approaches are specialists in content, but they are not focused on the indigenous community's real context, but they are based on the European framework, which does not take into account the real needs and wants of these communities.
Besides, from other ideas implemented by the government to take into consideration needs and wants from indigenous communities, such as SAFE, there is still the issue that these kinds of programs or standards do not work out being inclusive ones.
So, how can a real interculturality be implemented to conduct an adequate education for indigenous communities?